Good morning, everybody. Today, I am going to discuss about easy identification of MRI brain sequences. So, it is very difficult for the beginners, mostly useful for the radiation oncologist who is dealing with the brain tumors. So, I will tell how to identify easily the MRI brain sequences. First one is the T1 sequence. If you see our normal brain parenchyma, inner is the white, outer is the gray. So inner is white, outer is the gray. In a T1, it is a gray white matter, and CSF looks black, and it is useful for the normal anatomy and to change the vascular changes. T1 contrast, when you give contrast injection, you can identify the vessels where hyperintension lesion, hyperintension is nature, and it is very easy to identify when you are given contrast. So you can identify here the vascular structures are looks hyperintense. T2 sequence, it is a flip side of T1. You can see here the white matter looks black, gray matter looks dark. Okay, white matter looks black and gray matter looks white, and CSF is white. So mostly identifying the T2 sequence is a T white, CSF is white. And apart from the CSF, you can see the aqueous humor, vitreous humor looks white, and blood vessels mostly dark. You can see here blood vessels looks dark, mostly used for the CSF study and lesions in the brain. FLAIR sequence, it is known as a fluid attenuation inversion recovery, is mostly useful for the pathological fluids. The easiest identification is the periventricular ooze. Periventricular, you can see here periventricular ooze. CSF is black, but pathological fluid is white, and you can identify easily with CSF is oozing CSF from the ventricular wall. So compare with T2 versus FLAIR. In T2, pathological fluid as well as CSF looks white, but in FLAIR, pathological fluid looks white and CSF looks black. Let's identify T1 versus T2 versus FLAIR. T1, CSF black, white matter inside looks white, gray matter outside looks gray. T2 is the flip side of the T1, where CSF looks white. CSF looks white, and FLAIR, you can see here oozing of the blood, oozing of the fluid. It is called ventricular ooze. So if CSF is black, T1, CSF white, T2, oozing of the CSF is known, you can identify as the T2 FLAIR. Another sequence you can come across is the MR diffusion, where you can measure the diffusion of water molecule. It is otherwise we call it a ghost sequence, looks like a ghost. And if you see the fluid restriction here, and it looks whiter. To measure the fluid restriction, we need an ADC map. So this is a diffusion weighted, this is ADC map. ADC, you can see the CSF white, and the white part in the diffusion weighted image, which is the restriction, in ADC it looks black, and it is a statistical measure of restriction. Hyperintension diffusion weighted, hype 1 ADC, more malignant, lower the value. Another image is called susceptibility weighted image. In susceptibility weighted image, if you want see any bleedings or calcification, this is the best sequence to analyze. You can see here, and this is the because calcification of cortical bone, choroidal lesions are diamagnetic, whereas hemorrhages are paramagnetic. All paramagnetic are classified as hemorrhages, and diamagnetic lesions are classified as calcifications. So if you want to see the calcification or hemorrhage, better it looks like a susceptibility weighted image. FS-PGR sequence, another sequence. It is a different sequence where you can easily identify the normal anatomy very easily, and you can get a contrast as well as a normal. Improves anatomical display. So you can see here optic chiasma very nicely seen here. So when there is a sequence called FS-PGR sequence. When you are interested to know the cisternas and nerves, cranial nerves, this is called Fiesta sequence. This is called a Fiesta sequence. Fast imaging employing steady state acquisition, clear visualization of the ventricles, cranial nerves. It's called as cisterns. So you can see here. So you can see the cranial nerves easily in the Fiesta sequence. Another is star sequence or fat saturated sequence or fat sat sequences. That is called short tau inversion recovery. Fat to be saturated when you have there is a packing material gel form is given in the pituitary fossa after pituitary surgery. You can ask for the fat sat sequence. So normal fat will be suppressed and packing material will be hyperintense. Another is the called magnetic resonance spectroscopy, where we can analyze the chemical nature of the lesion. It is a differentiating from the tumor to tumor. So this is, you will get a graph like this, and this is mostly known as the MRS. So MRS mostly you will get the choline, Na, creatinine, lipid, lactate. So Na is a good for the neuronal activity. Choline is the bad metabolized seen in tumors. Lipid also ugly metabolite is a necrotic tumors. So if you these are the this ECG like pictures, if you find in the any image, it is called MRS. If you want to know the vascularity, go for contrast, diffusion, micro architecture, and perfusion, neoangiogenesis, spectroscopy, chemical environment. Another is the MR angio. When you want to know the occlusion, stenosis, aneurysm, other abnormalities, you should pair the MR angio. MR perfusion. Another is if there is a lot, if there is a new angiogenesis, you want to know the blood flow and blood volume. So in the ischemic conditions and the neoplasms. So this is called MR perfusion sequence. So where you can see the highest highly blood flow to the new angiogenesis area, in mostly the glioblastoma multiforme, you can see the colored area. Gradient echo sequence, you want to see the, this is called gradient echo microbleeds, like when the CP angle tumor differentiated from the meningioma to acoustic neuroma or vestibular schwannoma. You can see the smallest change in the uniformity and uniformity in the magnetic field. This microbleeds you can understand, and this is called gradient echo sequence, and you will find microbleeds in the schwannoma but not in the meningioma. Another last thing is the MR diffusion tractography is a method of identifying anatomical connections in the living human being, and this tractography techniques estimate the connectivity patterns between the different vein regions, and when you are going for the surgery, it will guide the tracts, and it will guide the surgeon. Thank you very much.